And then the story takes a twist where our crews head to Philadelphia, where they talk to the family of Rockhale Glenn and find out he was dismembered, decapitated, and stuffed in storage bins.
So Rockel was the first grandchild born to my mother. So my sister was a teenage mom, and when we first found out she was pregnant, it was like a big thing.
I treated my nephew like he was my son, because his dad wasn't around.
He called me his Aunt Sabrina. He didn't know where his mother was. As far as I know, she was incarcerated. We just showed him love.
He had pretty hair, he had big ears, he was cute, and everybody just loved him.
And you are?
Rockel's sister. It is 4 of us. Growing up, I didn't grow up with my mom. My mom was on drugs.
Somehow it got reported that they was left in an abandoned house in Parkside. And from my understanding of the story that my mom told me, they found the kids. My sister was nowhere to be found. So they was gonna instantly put them in a system. Now my mom at the time, she was on drugs too, but for her grandkids, she got clean, she went into the shelter, and she did everything she was supposed to do to get them kids, because she didn't want them to, one, to be separated, and she wanted them to be raised together.
I was left with a family friend. But my brothers and sisters were with my grandma. And when my grandma passed, they all went into the system.
He didn't have any contact with his mother for years because of her background with drugs and other things. So that kind of separated the family at that time, and he lost touch with sister and uncles and aunts and everybody else.
He was friends with my kids. He got put out, and then he stayed with this other foster lady up the street from me. He got put out her house, and he had no place to go. No relationship with his family. So I brought him into my house. You know, he lived with us for quite some time.
The last time I seen my nephew, he was at Murray's, coming out of Murray's on 22nd Street. And me and him got to talking, and that's when he first told me, I was like, what you doing? He's like, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna be a mortician. I'm like, you gonna be a mortician? You know you gotta work with dead bodies. That's what I wanna do. I'm like, all right, do you? You make some money, because there's always dead people.
All right, Miss Sabrina, who are you to Otis?
His cousin, his first cousin.
We learned that Otis went to Philadelphia to live with his cousins because he told them he wanted a fresh start.
So being as though he didn't know his dad's side of the family, he didn't know me and my kids like that. Besides my oldest son, you know, we got love. Come be with your family. Told him to come to Philly, and he came. And he stayed with me during that period of time or whatever.
My mom, she became sober. So when she got released out of prison, she wanted to get all her kids together, to see them all together. So he was like, well, let's find Rock and see where Rock's at.
And when Otis came, for some reason or another, Otis didn't like him. I don't know why, but he didn't ever like him. Like, he was never one of the ones that would come and try to bully Otis or because he was too timid. He was scary. He wasn't into doing that stuff. He tried to stay away. And there's been times that I came in the house, Otis done pushed him down the steps. He pushed him down the steps. He's standing on him on the landing, tell him he ain't heard. I'm like, get off of him. I kept trying to back Otis up, off of him. Leave that boy alone. He don't need to be in here. Why not? You in here. But he didn't want him coming back into the house. And like I told him, Otis, this is not your house. This is my mother's house. My house. And Otis used to always tell me, he come in this house, I'm gonna kill him. I'm not playing, I'm gonna kill this boy.
Otis's family would ask him if he knew where Rockel was, and Otis would come up with stories that Rockel was in jail and that he hadn't seen him.
Everybody believed him because he was known for getting locked up for little petty stuff. But then once they got the phone call saying, my grandma called us saying that they found a body in the basement. I went inside with the cops and we went down to the basement. And I was trying to see, I'm like, I don't see it. And then like, there you go, right there, like you see his leg and stuff sticking out the container. And then I guess later on that day, we wound up going to the police station and they showed me the pictures. I knew it was him because his braces and his braids. But I seen mostly skull. And his body was like so decomposed. It was traumatizing.
And one day I'm at my job and I get a phone call and the person asks, can I speak to Rockhale Glenn? And I'm like, speaking. And he told me he was from the medical examiner's office, but because he said he had information about my nephew, I think I just didn't hear it. And he said, I have information about your nephew, Rockhale Glenn. And I got happy because I hadn't heard anything in years. But when he said what he said, like, I broke down. I hung up on the man. Now, I remember hearing the story on the news about them finding the body in North Philadelphia, and the person who was remodeling the house found the body. And that's how the cops got called. I'm like, damn, I feel really bad for that family. Like, that's sad, not knowing I'm feeling bad for my own family.
So me and my mom and my aunt went to the Philadelphia Homicide Division to see, because we never knew what really happened to Rock. So it was 2 detectives there and they were explaining to us that they had a full confession from a 13-year-old. This 13-year-old had told them that him and Rock were arguing or fighting over a white t-shirt, and that he had hit Rock in the back of his head with a pole or a pipe. And Rock fell and he dragged my brother, who is 22 at the time, down the basement and cut his body up. At that time, my mom just wanted to see her son, the pictures of her son. And the detective was like, no, I can't let you see this. And my mom straight snatched it out his hand. When she was looking in the pictures, we seen a picture of my brother like put together on the examiner's table. His head was disconnected, his torso, his arms, and his knees. And he was like laid out, put together. And then the next photo was the crime scene photo of actually how they found him. He was in a blue storage bin, and like his hand and stuff was hanging out the storage bin, but the top was on the storage bin. And it was a bunch of bugs, like black bugs. You've seen black bugs. And the last picture is the one that I will never get out my head. There was a hole in the back of my brother's head on this side. It was so big you could put your fist in it. And his hair was still connected to his skull. And then my mom just broke down. I remember me asking them, can I see this 13-year-old? And I remember them showing me a picture of like a little short, stubby little boy. And I remember me saying to the detective, that little boy did not do this by himself. He could not have did this.
So for them to say that he did something like that, murder anybody, no, he wouldn't even harm an animal, let alone a person, let alone somebody that's close to us. We called Rock our brother.
A relative told us that the Tucker family in Philadelphia convinced someone, a younger teenager in their family, to take the rap for the killing of Rockel because they were sure he was going to get lesser of a sentence if he did so. But the mom and sister of that teen want to clear his name. They don't believe that their loved one was involved. They believe Otis had something to do with it.
Before he left to go, he said he was leaving Philly. He was going back to Virginia. And I didn't understand why. He seemed like he was in a rush. His eyes was all big. He looked like something was going on. You brought the machete to me that night, I remember. And I don't understand how this trial went on, and they didn't have no evidence. Only thing they had was him and my son coming in and out the house. That was it. They didn't even have a murder weapon. And how I know that they didn't have the machete is because I gave it to my daughter friend so he can clean it and sharpen it up for me and stuff. But his van got taken and the machete was in the van and it was gone.
What's going to happen to her? Nothing? So she allowed to keep evidence?
It's just crazy. And for the cops not to investigate, like, did you ask the little boy how you cut him up? What did you use? Where's the machete?
The teen that took the rap for Rockhel's death had just turned 15. His name was Richard Tucker. He did go to juvie and serve time for the murder until he was 21 years old. And several months after he got out, he was killed too. And his murder remains unsolved in Philly.
It wasn't family that was trying to persuade him to take no blame for nothing. It was the other ones, the friends.
Before he was convicted, did anybody say that Otis did it? Was anybody trying to tell?
I did.
You did.
And
I did. Yes,
So
we
before-
did.
before-
Nobody wanted to listen to me.
Yeah, I said the same way he died is the same way he got into that fight. It's like me seeing it without being there.
The Glenn family tells us they're upset because they had no idea that Rockel's killer had ever been caught. They never knew that Richie served time. And they didn't find this information out until Reopen the Case called them.
The right person needs to be charged for this murder, not just the person that said they did it and now we know they didn't do it.
Our producer did reach out to police. They told us that, hey, somebody's been convicted for this. It's not a case we're looking into, and we still haven't received a call back.
I know the outcome of that case. I know he walked on that case. Do I feel comfortable that...
Do you feel comfortable that he was not involved in that case?
Now, a family member wound up taking the heat for that, and I don't think that was right.
It is important to note that Otis Tucker was never charged or officially a suspect in Rockel's murder.